This session will be discussing a function related to the accounts receivable, which is actually creating debit adjustments to the customer balance for any reason. Like, for example, you received the payment from your customer, you deposited it in the bank, the check bounced, and you want to charge your customer with non-sufficient fund fees, right, or the charges that you've been charged by the bank. So in this situation, this is a charge that's related to a payment, but not related to the business. It's actually related to an incident that happened when doing business. So I'm going to use this debit adjustment screen, which is located in transactions and in accounts receivable. So I'm double clicking on that. Screen will ask you for the first thing is the date of this transaction. Tape count, how many transactions are you planning to enter now? With the total of what? So this means I'm entering 2 transactions with a total of $500. I'm using my mouse to click on new to start entering the details of the first one. This is my customer. Now here is the reason for the adjustment, and you can always add to those reasons, and you will be able to run reports based on that. So this is a bounce check fee. If the debit transaction is going through a factor, then they will put it there. If there is no factor involved in this transaction, and if that's the situation, I will clear the factor and just simply enter the amount over here. Now you can put any kind of reference over here, bounced check number, for example. So this way you have for reference your check number and the due date of the transaction, and this is very important in order for us to maintain the aging for it. So if this is saved like that, the system will classify this transaction to be aged within August 15. Then I'm going to use my mouse and click on new again to enter the second transaction. Let's say it's on the same customer. As you can see, you can do that too, in case if you have 2 transactions for 2 reasons for adjustments. This is non-bounce check, and this is a chargeback I got from my customer with another 250, and this is going to remain debit on the account, meaning open on the account in order for us to reconcile it later also and check with the account. And if you leave it an open debit on the account, now you get access to another type of date, which is the transaction date. The transaction date is used for actually posting this transaction to the general ledger, right? And the user will have the ability to either backdate the transaction to the date when the invoice was created, for example, related to this, or age it as of today, or post it to today's date, for example. And this is the date that controls the aging. So this transaction will be classified in that date range when you print the aging reports. If this transaction is related to a certain store, you have the choice of putting the store over here, and same reference field for this transaction, and so on. Now you will notice that since that we entered 2 transactions with a total of 250, so that's $500, which matches the tape total that we originally planned, right? So my actual matches with the tape total. You will notice that the difference turned into green. Aria is not going to let you save unless this difference is green, and unless the total number of transactions matches with the tape count. And if this doesn't happen, or if the user made a mistake, we're doing this simply to make it easier for the user. If there is a mistake like that, you notice that the difference is red, but you will be able to still to save it after passing those 2 messages. You're going to get 2 messages if the tape count doesn't match the number of transactions or the difference is red. You have the choice of either clicking on modify or simply ignore. I know that the details are correct, just ignore the tape total that we entered at the beginning. And when you do that, system gives you the batch number and the batch date to let you know that this is posted to this date. Now the effect of this on the customer screen, if I go to the customer master and my customer number, click on that $sign that we have on top, you will see that there is an open debit for a 250, and also a chargeback open on the customer for 251, which can be used. I mean, if the customer paid later, these two $501 will be keyed off against a check, or they can be keyed off against a return, or keyed off against any type of credit transaction um, that you would like to key it off against. So it's dealt with exactly as if it is an invoice or an open